You want me to go hit up Goose, see if we can get them to play a show here?
Who?
Goose?
The fuck?
You know Goose, right? Nobody knows Goose. No one likes Goose.
Gusani?
What?
David Gusani?
No, Goose, the band.
Oh.
I was making a joke because they're a Connecticut jam band. They're our generation's Fish. Gen X had Fish. We have Goose, but Goose is from Connecticut, and they're very good.
Keep them.
I like them. You don't like jam bands too much, but I love jam bands.
I don't mind jam bands. I just like Fish. But I don't like Fish people.
Fair enough. I have a
crab people, but
I keep wanting to call it a Punnett square. It's a Venn diagram.
Fish people look like fish, walk like people. Fish people, fish people. I'm glad we harmonized there. All right, are we?
We're just gonna keep doing fish people. That's the whole podcast.
The whole episode.
We're just gonna do an hour and a half of us saying fish people.
We're all hungover and tired, and here's still.
For various different.
This is like the third time in a year we've done this, by the way.
It was better than if we had done this last weekend. I would have been like fucked.
Oh yeah.
Because like last weekend, the run was something.
Last weekend was a rough weekend.
You saw Rishi. Rishi stayed out longer.
Rishi was doing great.
Oh god, he fell asleep with a biscuit.
Like I said, when he woke up, I couldn't tell if he was gonna throw up in that wrapper or if he was eating.
Slow mo. He was like this and.
I love the age that we're at.
We've been doing this is the fun we've always been though.
I know, but it's just gotten funnier with age.
It's gotten sadder but funnier.
But that's the thing.
It's sad for the people who are suffering. It's hilarious for everyone else.
Because we've all suffered equally in that way, and we all know what everyone's going through.
Hello?
Hello, and welcome to Dancing with the Bards. This is Larry. That's all you have to say.
Okay. The hello feels weird.
Just introduce yourself.
They know who I am!
No, they don't!
I've been here!
Be comfortable.
Okay. Hello, and welcome to another episode of Dancing with the Bards. Larry is hosting this month, myself, and I have kidnapped my co-hosts, Brooke and Will.
Hey, I'm here by choice.
And brought along a new member.
I am not here by choice. I'm Chris.
We, once again, are going back in time with a Larry-hosted episode, this time to the 50s, where we will be playing Chain Magnate, a strategy?
A restaurant-building simulator-style game.
Level from hell.
A simulator-style strategy game around running your own diner. It was made in 2015 by, I'm going to butcher these, Jeroen Doumen and Joris Wiersinga. I think that's the best I'm going to do on that.
Couldn't be worse than mine.
Sure can't. So, what is everyone's favorite thing to order from a diner?
Liver nugget.
Okay. You're just gonna come right out with that?
Yeah, swinging on that one.
Woken up from a major hand surgery. Muscled my way to drinking the apple juice, and then turned to my father who was driving me and requested we stop for liver and onions, where I housed one down in 15 minutes.
Damn, girl.
That is a choice. Whose liver?
This was a beef liver, not a calf liver, because it's expensive.
Okay.
Beef liver is more affordable after all.
Kevin, on the other hand.
Yeah.
The waitress.
Okay,
Chris. Making things weird already.
What do you? Welcome to the Bards. And what do you order the waitress to? You know what? Will, your order.
I am a classic 3-egg omelet, a little bit of cheese, a little bit of broccoli, some thinly sliced sausage. Heaven.
I'm a 2 eggs, rye toast, sausage kind of guy. Hands down, over easy.
We also have one more important thing, because our local diner has amazing milkshakes.
Which local diner?
There's a lot of those.
Yeah. Holiday?
Yeah.
Oh, Holiday is really
See,
good.
when I say local, I usually think Elmer's, and they do not have an amazing anything.
They have amazing shakes.
I asked for a cookie once from there. I went for a chocolate chip cookie. They brought me a shortbread cookie with a single M&M on top.
Well, did you go during where Elmer hours?
Well, I ordered it to my work.
Okay, but
Because
did
I
you?
was
No,
having
that was
a
not
great
during
job.
Where Elmer hours.
So,
you have to.
I did some research, and it is called the Danbury City Diner until 10 p.m.
Oh.
And then Where Elmer awakens at like 10:05, and the food is far better because it goes back to Elmer's Diner. So yeah, you have to go during the Where Elmer hours, and it's actually
It's like a
really
Jekyll
good.
and
Yeah,
Hyde.
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Okay.
Well, it's yeah.
Well, I don't know if you know any of the deep lore with Elmer's, but he got into a lot of financial trouble when he tried to buy all of the restaurants on that street. And the Waterfall, that's now a restaurant and a barber shop.
Yeah.
He took all of his good cooks from Elmer's when it was just Elmer's all the time, and he moved them there. And it turns out that diner cooks are not good at cooking fine dining, even if they are the best diner cooks in the restaurant.
Yeah, that's kind of a thing.
So, and then he tried to pivot from fine dining to sushi and hibachi, and that just seemed like an even worse idea. And then he lost all of his money.
So, as entertaining as Elmer is, he probably did way better than we did in this game.
Yeah,
Trying to set up multiple restaurants is a strategy.
this is fair.
I did manage to open a second set of doors. Nobody showed up, but I did open it.
Larry was definitely the success story of this one.
Yep.
Mr. Franchisee over here.
Yeah, as opposed to just running things so far into the ground that people have to pay you to eat there, or you have to pay them to eat there.
This is true.
That's why.
Well, actually, no, it was free.
It was free.
You
But
did.
the pizza wasn't.
It was long-term promotion.
You did the whole Netflix approach. You just priced everyone out of the market. You just didn't have a long enough runway to start raising your prices again.
I didn't make money for 6 rounds.
You constantly brought people into your diner and then had to go and take care of them out back.
I'm still convinced that you were just running a money laundering thing.
You see, if I had it my way, I would have went all waitresses. And I really like to do that because it's hilarious. Because I don't actually sell any food at all, and I still get money.
All right,
That is-
so.
And it's it's independent from everybody else's strategy.
Well, and that's really what I liked about the strategy that I did the first time I played this game. I only did drinks. I didn't do any cooked food until the very end. So I was playing it like Bar Simulator, and it worked really well. You know, I needed to hire like 1/10 of the employees to actually run the place, and I made a ton of money. But unfortunately, that did not happen this time.
All right.
Okay.
So-
Let's start at the top of the rubric
Yeah.
and just work our way down because we're going to have a lot of thoughts in
Yeah.
very different sides of the spectrum.
Yes.
What style of game is this considered?
I would consider this a simulation game.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is, I believe, falls under.
It falls under strategy.
Well, it's like it's a German board game style simulator strategy game.
Okay.
That's a
Yeah.
big
Just so
thing.
that people can kind of understand my frustrations as it took so long to do everything.
To be fair, you'll get that with any German board game.
The
Though.
number of players.
I think so. I have a weird opinion on this because we played with 3 and the game was over in 45 minutes. We played with 4 and it lasted about 3 hours. But when we played with 5, it lasted maybe an hour and a half. And I struggle to find what the sweet spot is with this, though I feel like 3 or 5 is great. And I feel like 4 kind of just bogs down. Overall, I gave it a 3 because of the options for that.
I gave it a 3. I thought that this was really well balanced for what it was, and they had separate rules for different amounts of players.
Yes.
Which is what I always look for in these type of games when it comes to if the numbers are working right.
I gave this a solid 3 as well. It fits right into that happy medium. The rules were cohesive, and like you said, they had a nice sort of adjustment based on the amount of players, and it felt good. I do think, like Larry was saying, when we had 4 players, it kind of started to stall out in places. I don't necessarily know if that's solely due to player cap,
I don't.
or if that's play style.
My theory on why it kind of bogged down was because when we got to the phase where people went places, it partially had to do with our play style where everything was bunched up together. Nobody really had a couple of areas where they could be like, I'm going to get this income, and we can just breeze through this. Everything was very tight-knit, and the first couple of times I've played this, we didn't really see that happen until the end of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last couple of turns, it was the money phase takes 30 minutes, but this was every turn the money phase took 20 to 30 minutes.
But that's where I'm coming in. So, at the beginning, when we were much less comfortable and much less unsure of what we were doing, it took more time. But I think this is a game, if you play it multiple times, you understand what you're going to do and how you want to do it. I think the game will pace faster. So that's why I kind of put it at a 2. If you're first playing this game, it's going to take longer, but if you're well versed, it's going to go faster. So I don't think it matters on the player. Player. It's just how versed you are into the game.
Yeah, and that's why I said it comes down to play style as well, because it got very, very cutthroat towards the end there.
It did.
$4.
I was really hoping that I'd be able to pull in a clench at the end. I was gearing up. If I could have gotten my luxuries manager out there, that would have saved me.
Yeah, you had some good markets cornered.
But
all right, moving on.
Inclusivity.
Yeah, inclusivity. I slapped it at a solid 2. I feel like there's certain disabilities that wouldn't be able to play this very well. There's a lot of reading at hand. There's a lot of planning that takes place. Color blindness, I will give them. Each type of card has its own color.
Yeah, and the colors of the pieces are drastically different.
Yes.
Which
their shapes are completely different.
Yeah.
Like it I don't necessarily have a so for me at least, I give it a 1 for inclusivity. I think that the barrier to entry for this game is just too steep. That even all of the other accessibility things they have there, it's going to be a really hard sell for a lot of people to get into this game.
I gave it a 2 solely because they had, I won't even call it a cheat sheet because there's too many things in it. It is a mini manual for each person.
It is a guide.
It is a guide. It is a rule book, a condensed rule book. It's not a cheat sheet.
The theming is cool though, because it is a diner menu.
No, it's the theming is really on point in this game. You cannot deny that they're doing pretty good on that. But it's a lot.
Yes.
Yeah.
I also think there might be some translation issues.
I don't feel like it's translation issues as much as it was shortcuts.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's, okay, maybe not translation. Maybe it's more that, some things were more obvious in the original wording than they are in the English wording because of the differences in speech.
Chris?
Yeah, I also gave it just a 2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Availability.
You skipped one, buddy.
Did I?
You skipped comprehension.
Yeah, you know that this is going to be a sucker punch. I gave it a 1. I probably should have given it a half. I just don't like giving.
You could have given it a 0.
There are some things that are helpful, and the flow chart on the inside of the manual. They made an attempt. We're not learning the word orthogonal in Fire Tower.
Yeah.
They made an attempt to make it make sense, and I want to give them credit for trying.
That's fair. I gave it a 1 because I have played this game 3 times now, and I still make mistakes pretty frequently. There's a lot of moving parts with this. The upgrade tree is a lot to keep track of. Then the first cards are also a lot to keep track of. That CFO bit, I just stumbled into that by accident. I didn't even plan for that. That was just pure luck.
It just happened.
Yeah. And I went into that turn with the intention that I wasn't going to be able to make that. And it's hard to plan.
You know what? I'm giving it a 0.5 because the amount of stuff we had to do to figure out where people were eating, it was four layers into figuring out who got what,
when and how, and it just ended up with.
It's are they closer? Yeah, but do you have a waitress? Yeah, but do you have?
But are you cheaper?
Are you cheaper? Is there a discount manager?
Yeah.
It's too many layers.
Yeah.
I don't know. I gave it a 2 for comprehension just because I like that sort of depth and I like that sort of accounting for every little bit, but I can understand how that's definitely not everyone's taste.
Yeah.
I gave it a 1. you guys talk all before me, and it's I want to say this and that, but you guys get it.
Just muscle in, bud.
We gotta muscle. I don't want to interrupt.
All right. So, as far as availability goes, I purchased this, and I gave this goddamn thing a 0.5. I heard about this game, and then I went through hell and back to find it, and I just fucking stumbled into it one day.
Yeah.
I went to a local game store, and I was like, oh my god, they have this. I need to buy it immediately, even though it was an extreme amount of money.
Well, this is German originally, right?
Dutch.
Dutch. Okay.
Yeah.
So it's the international availability there.
Well, it's not even that, because even for people who want to purchase it in fucking what?
Also a one
Denmark,
for me, by
yeah.
the way.
Oh no, 0.5.
Okay.
Even for people in Denmark, this is still impossible to find. It was such a limited print run. I think they printed it when it first came out, and then they were like, oh shit, we made an expansion, we should probably give more people the chance to get this. And that was 4 years later. And then now, they haven't done a print run until the most recent Kickstarter, which I'll touch on later. I'm not thrilled looking at it, but we'll get to that.
I have thoughts on the Kickstarter as well, based on my very brief reading.
Yeah, my quick browsing, I was like, oh, eee.
What do you mean quick browsing? You did all the research for this episode, Larry.
Well, no, I did quick browsing on the quick Kickstarter itself.
Good save.
Yeah.
I gave it a 0.5 for availability. I've never seen it before, and trying to find out information on this was not easy.
Fucking nightmarish.
I found Wizards, the 1977 TTRPG, quicker than I found this.
Yes. Yeah.
We gotta cover that soon, too.
Oh,
The availability for this game is a uphill battle.
Non-existent. If I could give it a 0, I would
you
give it a 0.
could give it a 0.
I know.
Zero. See, I can't give it a 0 because it's right here.
You know, that's the thing. Is
It exists.
I feel like if I gave it a 0, we would be like playing with like a paper recreation of
Dude,
the
I
game.
feel like it's
Or we had
easier to-
borrow it from-
I feel like it's easier to get your hands on a fucking copy of Campaign for North Africa than it is for this thing.
A Campaign for North Africa is just a book. Anybody
yeah.
can get a book.
It's a book with rules.
They have buildings full of them in Main Street.
I do want to play that at one point, not for this.
No.
I just want to see how bad it is.
That's gonna be okay. So little outside Bard's fact. We have been playing Campaign for North Africa for the past 3 years, and when we finish it, we will cover it.
Okay, cool. That gives us like 10 more years to start.
Yeah.
Does Brooke know what that is?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
Does Chris know what that is?
I don't know.
Chris plays the Italians in our campaign.
It is a insanely detailed recreation of the campaign for North Africa. It is, you monitor literally
Every single. So the Italians have a whole separate water mechanic. They use more water than any other army because they need to be able to boil their pasta rations, which is a real thing. A lot of the the Germans' planes, you have to research fuel caps for them. Otherwise, you'll lose fuel daily based on the temperature outside. You have to have somebody who is an actual meteorologist figure out what the weather cycles are going to be like. It is insane.
Sounds convoluted.
Oh, it's
insane.
The people
dude.
who created it have come out and said they have no way of knowing if it's balanced or playable because no one's been able to finish a campaign before.
Yeah, it's impossible to play. What really did it for me was the fact that you need a separate person, or it is a separate job, to check the rubble in the tires on the vehicles after every journey to make sure that the wheels are not punctured and that the wheels are clean. It's that level of detail.
Sounds horrible.
This
sounds fun.
This is a game that would have been amazing if they had.
If Paradox made it on a computer.
Yeah, right. If this was a Paradox game, I would play it like all day of the every day of the week. But it's like trying to play like Hearts of Iron with pen and paper.
Some things are not made for the cardboard.
And no AI to actually determine other people's turns.
But this very much feels like a Campaign for North Africa-esque like food chain game.
Yeah.
It's the amount of detail in certain aspects of it is just a little
extreme.
Yeah, it's a little intense.
All right.
But it's not when it comes to the materials. For that price point, it's $90, right?
Yeah.
They have some wooden pieces, so it's similar to Egg Up.
Wingspan.
Egg Up. I forgot about Egg Up.
Egg Up.
So it's similar to Wingspan, but that doesn't have the detail in the art style like Wingspan does to make it feel worth it for pieces of paper. Many pieces of paper.
To me, the theming of it, though, fits very well.
It does, but
and
it doesn't warrant that price tag.
So this is where I'm going to get in on the Kickstarter bit. Like, I love the fact that this is very 1950s themed. The artwork, the characters that are on the cards, the colors even, are very 1950s themed. The Kickstarter looks like shit comparably. It is an entirely different developer who I guess got rights to the game. It's all very modernized. It all almost looks like AI art. I don't want to accuse them of using AI art, but it has that, like, Uncanny Valley feeling to it, like Pixar animation almost. And, like, all the plastic pieces that they have are all very, like, clean and, like, modern cut and just... it. To me, the materials of this feel worth it because of the dedication they went through to theme it around it.
If some things that if they had done, I would have been better off with. I would have loved if instead of tiles for the
map
for the not the tile map, the tiles for your restaurant.
Oh yeah.
Give me a little square.
Yeah, like a
give
little
me a
restaurant.
square piece of wood. Or if we have billboards. It does not take that much more to give us a tiny little, the clear piece to make the cardboard stand up so it looks like a billboard. It does not take that much more for this price tag to screen some tiny ice cubes on our drinks.
Fair.
Or put a label on top of it.
Yeah.
But it could be a one color thing where each one has one little extra white detail to make that $90 price tag seem less egregious.
See...
It sucks that this is...
The part of the charm, though, that none of that stuff exists, because...
Wingspan is $80.
Well, okay, so hear me out, and this could just be me defending the game.
Defending the money you spent.
Hold on, wait.
The fact that you can open this up, and the fact that there is no plastic or anything outside the plastic bags, it feels like a game from that era.
Yes, because there's no box organization.
Exactly. There's no box organization. There's no plastic anywhere. It's all just fucking wood and paper.
This is cope, Larry.
You need to throw like
cope.
some loose change and a couple of paper clips in there, and then boom, family game night.
If they did that, I would have liked it better. Like, if you're gonna go fucking in on it. Like, if you're going to make it a game about restaurants, make it a game about restaurants. Show us billboards. Show us, like... There's so many fun things they could have done.
See, they did all of that shit in the Kickstarter version, though, and it looks terrible.
The Etsy
because I don't
upgrade.
think they had a good designer.
Yeah.
You could have put a tiny little billboard. You could have put a big old radio tower.
Honestly,
that would be brilliant. A big old radio. You're right, Chris.
A
big radio tower would be sick.
I would love that.
It makes your board come more alive that way.
It feels like an actual
the
city.
The fact that this is $90 and it doesn't include that is kind of shit.
Yeah.
Think about it.
I don't know. I like the theming, and I'll stand by that.
I just looked at the artwork again. This is based off of fashion illustrations from the 1950s and their shading, where the current game model that you have is based off of advertising from the 1950s.
Okay.
So you're noticing that difference. These are really draw inspiration from fashion plates from the 50s.
Okay.
Oh.
This is why you have a local artist around.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't think it's AI though. I think it's just
but it does.
It's because of how drastically fashion versus this has changed.
Yeah, it's like I said, I don't think it's AI, but it does have that like uncanny, like Pixar-ish.
You're used to this, and you're thinking about this, not like gentle shading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave it a 1.
I gave it a 3.
I gave it a 2.
Materials,
Chris.
I also give it a 2.
I think that's the most divided me and Brooke have been on anything.
No. We usually go tit for tat on most things.
Yeah, but not to that extreme, I feel.
No, it's usually extreme.
Yeah. We both are very opinionated and stubborn.
Yeah. Anyways, what is the next category? Because I did rate it a 1.
Set up.
Yes.
Thing that took you 45 minutes in the front and the back.
That one stands. Holy shit. Why?
As an outside witness, Chris, how is this for setup?
Kind of shit.
Okay.
Okay.
That's fair.
That's gonna be the name of this episode.
Kind of shit.
Kind of shit.
Kind of shit.
But I like the game. I'll play it again.
Yeah, episode name, Capitalism, kind of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, no, solid one for me, who has set this up about 15 times now. Terrible.
So bad. It's so bad. And I think the only other game that has any sort of similarity to the complexity would be like, oh my god, what was that space game with the tech tree?
There's a few of those.
Shit.
Yeah.
The one with the little pieces we liked because they stood up on top of each other.
Cosmic Encounter, I think?
No.
That wasn't Cosmic, that
We
was...
played this the other day and I beat everybody without killing anybody.
Eclipse?
Eclipse.
Yes.
Eclipse.
Eclipse's setup is fine, okay?
Yeah.
Eclipse,
Now it is.
the first time you open that box, horrendous. Every other time, because they have box organization, I literally take the tray out,
Yeah.
give everybody their tray, and then everybody puts their funny little cubes in the tray.
Give me
That's
the
it. We're
cubes.
ready to go.
You mean this
But
thing
that's
that
not how
this
it
one
used
doesn't
to
have?
be.
What do you mean? It's perfect.
Please, it took me...
Hear how secure everything is in there?
Actually do shake it. It might even the box top
Yeah.
out a little.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the other thing, is if you actually put this away as close as you can to being correct, the box doesn't close anymore.
I was in a rush. I could have made it work, but I
No,
didn't want to
you-
spend another 10
This
No.
is not a
Yeah.
fantastic job.
Yeah.
This is on them because it should not have this low of a tolerance.
Yeah. Yeah. Eclipse has
Nice to
probably about 600 pieces, and while the box is massive, they figured out how to close it while putting styrofoam in the goddamn thing. So yeah, no, absolute. I don't want to give it a 0.5 because it's not like I'm stumped. It's just that it takes me 20 minutes, and that's with going through the effort of organizing all of the cards and putting them in the bag.
Fair.
I did give it a 0.5 just because there's nothing worse than at the end of a night after you're done playing, spending another 45 minutes to get it kind of in the box.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
But is
Because
it the worst board game?
No, Fire Tower is the worst board game.
We don't talk about Fire Tower.
So that's why it doesn't deserve a 0.5.
Yes,
No, Fire Tower got a 0.
Oh,
Fire Tower got a lot of zeros.
Fire
Yeah,
Tower
you know.
got really
They
bad.
got a lot of.
I wasn't here for that.
Count your
I
blessings.
cannot. I have not given this away just because I don't want some poor soul at Goodwill to waste their money on this.
I will be the bearer of the suffering. Yeah, so 1 from setup.
Ready to play?
Rate of play. Capital dose.
Yeah, same. Average.
I
I put it as 3.
Ooh, okay.
Okay.
yeah.
What do you like about it?
I would say that, again, this goes back to my original point. If you play more of this game, if you understand the game, it will go fast. And as we saw, as we played the game, more people understood and how to do things. You got fast.
But I don't disagree. I definitely noticed that longer you play the game, I definitely played faster my third time than I did my first time. But I think all of the other stuff that's going on in the board with the calculating, doing the marketing, and then figuring out where people are going to go and eat, and then paying everybody out, and then we have the CFOs, and that adds a whole nother layer of stuff to it. The further on you get, the slower the game gets. And in some games that's fun because you're making a lot of strategic choices and you're making a lot of... But once you get, I feel like, 8 or so days into this game, like a full week, you've essentially built your corporate structure. And at this point, you're just kind of doing the same sort of things. You need to restock your food, you need to restock your drinks. If you have space for it, upgrade somebody. If you don't have space for it, you buy somebody and you upgrade them.
See, so I'll touch on that because we didn't really see it happen other than the beer incident is what I'll call it. But I gave it a 3 for rate of play just because we didn't. Nobody really did anything that would cause a dynamic change, but I've seen games of this where just a simple billboard can change the entire flow of the game. And then when you start getting things like radios and mailboxes and other sorts of advertising, we didn't really play with that too much. Same thing with new developments. But because we're playing with 2 people who aren't as experienced with the game, like me and Chris were doing things like that.
Yeah.
You started putting out new houses. I put out that new restaurant that would have completely changed the flow of everything, especially if I brought in a discount manager as well.
Mm-hmm.
The rate of play can be very dynamic with this sort of thing, and I think that yes, there is a lot of things that happen where it's the marketing happens and it takes 15 minutes. But if you're invested in the game, watching that go down and wondering, how am I going to pull that is very engaging. If you're not invested in the game, oh, it's terrible. It's 20 minutes that you're not doing anything. But no, I gave it a solid 3 because I personally get lost in these sorts of things when I'm playing them, where I'm like, okay, so I need to find a way to get that, and if I open a restaurant over here and I advertise this there, this is going to happen. This is that chain effect. That, like, I like that sort of stuff.
I'm actually going to bump down to a 2.
Really?
Now that I think about it, because, as you mentioned, you put down the radio, now we put a bump in the road. But after that bump, we realize where the things are changing, then it gets back to being faster paced. So because it's not fast-paced initially is why I'm going to say it's actually just... Yeah. And then on top of that, I'm probably going to mention this again, but originally I was going to have a waitress strat until you took the first waitress. And then you screwed up my strat. So I had to correlate somewhere else, and that kind of ruined my bump, my rate of fire there.
See, I like that, though, because this is one of the few games that is incredibly cutthroat, but also not intentionally. Like, you aren't doing something to screw somebody else over. You're doing something to improve yourself, but it is going to absolutely screw somebody over.
But you did that to me, so I couldn't do my waitress strat, so that is intentional.
Well, I wanted the extra money, and that's what I'm saying, though, is that I wanted the extra money, you wanted to stack waitresses. I had the opportunity to get the extra money first, I took it.
The only thing I ordered from the diner, Larry, and you took it away from me.
I don't know, I'm standing firm on my 3. Alright?
Yep. I gave it a 2. Did what it needed to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about price? Looking straight at you, bud.
I gave it a 1.5.
Okay.
It's not quite a 2. As the main board game buyer in the group, I have seen far less for far more.
I would also disagree with them too, though.
Yeah, that's why I'm not like, oh yeah, no, this is like a 2 or a 3 on price. The value you get out of this. I think if it was priced at $90, but I could go to a Target and pick it up, it might have gotten a 2 for me.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that I had to hunt this shit down, and the fact that it was $90, I'm glad I have it, but it was...
I gave it a 1 when I realized, which I've said a couple times,
Yeah.
Wingspan has more to it for less money with a similar card setup. So, like, to me, that's kind of how I just, like, $10 more for, like, a fourth less.
But it is also an entirely different type of game. I will say that. Especially mechanics-wise, I would say that there was probably a lot more back-end thought on this.
But you were trying to angle for different things in the game. I'm just saying, when I'm looking at it, based off of materials alone...
Oh, yeah.
I couldn't justify, because rules are great, but that doesn't always correlate to more expensive.
Yeah.
And there's 4 layers to figure out who ate food.
Well, it's where they went for the food.
Oh.
At least they could save money.
I don't need my non-playable characters saving their non-real money.
Yeah, I don't need the people living in the fake house to penny pinch for me.
I really think if the developers had a little more time, you would have had a strategy on what they did for work.
I wouldn't be surprised.
I gave it a 1. For what it does, I don't think it's worth it.
I gave it a 1.5. Will?
I'm sorry, for price?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's solid 1. Solid 1.
Just checking in. Price 1.
Yeah, exactly. I just want to make sure we were still on the same topic here.
It is definitely a 1.
I'll keep my extra half point because I spent the money.
I understand, but...
Cope.
Okay, extras. I gave it a 3 on extras. This and the amount of people are probably a 2. I see them making an effort to make new expansions. I don't like it, but I see how they can make expansions to it. Like, I can see where they're going to add things if they want to.
Hey, your diner closes at 5 p.m. and that house doesn't get out of work
That's what, but
until 7:15.
They can go deeper. We can get a absolute Stardew Valley of a game going. But, like, I can see the expansions. I can see people who enjoy the game loving the expansions. And they are actively putting some out right now on Kickstarter.
Yeah.
So I get it. I get it.
Yeah, I gave it a solid 3 for expansions as well. And looking at what the first expansion they came out with, while I mean it took them 4 years, it addresses a lot of problems I have had with the game in the past, such as the ability for if somebody made a wrong move to have the ability to then pivot to a new item exclusive to them to help them catch back up. Because that's where the catch up mechanic comes from. Is if you're behind, you get condiments to help you pivot business away from other people to you.
I think it needs that catch-up mechanic. Because I like, if your plan is to base around waitresses, or if your plan is to base around getting the 2 manager trainees, and you don't get them, and then you have your strategy, and then you're screwed. You kind of need that.
Well, that's why I feel like forming a playstyle based around what milestones are available outside of the freezer. The freezer is almost essential. Outside of the freezer, trying to base milestones, yeah, somehow you lost by only $4 without having the freezer. But there's a few that I feel like you should hyper-focus, but I don't feel like you should plan a strategy around the milestones. Because you don't know if someone's going to stumble into it, like Will getting the CFO. Nobody thought that would happen.
I didn't think that was going to happen.
I'm keeping track of that now.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I want to make it clear that I went from having 33 to 113 that turn. Like, there was no amount of math that could have led me to get to that point. And I feel horrible about it because I did it standing on Brooke's back.
Poor Brooke.
It's okay. I had very little skin in this game. I did not like it the first time when I won. I did not like it the second time when I lost. It did not change for me.
You know what I like about this game? There is very obviously a clear winner, but I never feel like I've lost this game. I feel like I do a little better each time.
Yeah.
I promise you this time, I felt like I lost.
You did significantly worse. You decided to play nice in the world of a capitalist hellscape, and that's what happens.
What did she do that helped me? She put out a billboard.
Well, no, the biggest struggle was where she placed her restaurant. She didn't want to be in that shit show cluster that we were in.
Yeah, and that was a bad choice as well.
But then got marketed out real quick.
Yeah.
So, moving on for my failures. Price, rate of play, extras, perfect, enjoyment. Guess what mine is? 0.5.
You were doing something.
I was physically in the room and had some delicious snacks.
Those were delicious snacks.
Yeah. High protein chicken straws.
Oh, those are really good. I need to make those.
So, how did everyone else feel about enjoyment?
3.
I was a 2.
Sure, well.
I know. I love it. I love this game. I love this game. I don't think that I'm in love with this game.
Good point.
I am. It's the complexity and the need to kind of think on the fly constantly if you're not gunning for one strat. I love that about this. It's a very dynamic game.
You know how I know you love this game? Because you pull me aside and you go, for the next game we're going to play, we're going to have to play it twice. And I know what you're thinking, but you have to play it the first time, and then the second time, it's amazing. Like, you got so animated, and you pulled me aside knowing that I was going to be like, I'm out.
Yeah. Yes. Because I knew there was no way in hell I was getting Ian to play this even once.
Yeah.
I open this box, and it's like the mummy escaping the tomb. It just gone.
That actually happened the first play around, because he was in the house.
Yeah.
And
I think he went out for the night, and he doesn't go out. He was just like, I can't be in the building.
Yeah, no, he left. He was just gone.
Yeah.
2 for recommendation, just because I understand where people are coming from. Because, like, you get so excited. I gave it a 2.
Yes.
But I don't know. It's interesting.
I also gave this a 2.
Is there anybody that's not 2?
No.
Did you give it a 2-2?
I gave it a 2.
A 2-2-2?
2-2-2.
2.
2-2-2-2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
2.
You can see at least, like, not everybody's into this game.
Yeah, this
But it
isn't
can be a really good game if you like this.
I know people who I would recommend this to.
I think I know more people that I would recommend this to than people I wouldn't recommend this to. And that's why I'm giving it a 2.
As the party game player, that is not true for me. But
Fair enough.
Yeah, no, this is a solid 2 for me. There are definitely people who I would never recommend this to. And there are people who I would be like, you need to play this.
One of our co-hosts, for example, who scuttled off camera
Yeah.
the second he heard we were playing this.
I don't even think there was really discussion other than, oh, you guys are playing that.
I was like, it's you guys are playing that.
Yeah.
You.
I'm gonna take some time and work on my RPG.
Super secret projects that we're not.
That's not super secret.
It's not super secret?
No.
Have we mentioned on the podcast before?
Well, we haven't mentioned this.
He mentioned it last episode.
The RPG we're covering.
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't realize that, but
Oh,
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was still under wraps.
No.
Okay, well, he's doing that now.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's off doing his own thing, running his own Dancing with the Bards campaign right now. Everyone say hi, Ian. Hi.
Hi.
Uh,
First, may as well get it in now.
yeah, we have his attention. Say what you're gonna say.
replay value.
Good save.
Replay value. What are we thinking?
Oh, I gave it a 3 for replay.
Chris?
2.
2? Okay.
I didn't get a chance to actually write down replay value. My
What?
score is consistently going up because when you were reading it off, I was trying to keep up.
Oh, okay.
So,
I gave it a 3. I can see how this, even though I did not enjoy it, could be replayed indefinitely.
Yes.
Like, the amount of differentiation, especially when you add in the expansions, and truly just like day-to-day who's hungover, who's not, I could see how this could get pulled out a lot.
I gave it a 2 just because finding the time to sit down and play this game isn't something I'd always want to do.
That's fair.
That's kind of where I always try to tie my replay value score to, is like, would I actually replay this though? And the answer to this is most likely.
That's not fair because of all of the people who've played this, you've played it the most at 15.
Well, yes, but that's because I've played with different people. And I've
But that's
played
fair. But
multiple
you
times.
would replay it though.
Oh yeah. But like, let's say it was like a Saturday night and we're gonna go do board games and we're starting at like 10:30 and someone's like Food Chain, I'd be like,
Yeah, probably not. Fair
Probably
enough.
why we haven't played Food Chain.
yeah,
Until now.
on Saturdays.
Yeah.
I've played plenty of times, but we haven't played on Saturdays.
Yeah, because you guys, or at least some of our friends, used to play Cosmic Encounter at 10 p.m.
Yeah, and that is a 10 p.m. game.
In what world?
No, Cosmic is a 10 p.m. game. That's
Well,
usually
no,
like
I'm
a
thinking of the
hard.
other one,
Twilight-
which is-
Twilight Imperium.
Oh no,
That
that's
is-
horrible.
That's
No.
what
That is not a 10
all
o'clock
these
game.
space games.
Cosmic Encounter's borderline a party game.
I know, I do like that one,
Yeah.
which is why it's the only name I remember.
Yeah.
I do love Cosmic Encounter.
Yeah, you just get your funny little discs and then do goofy things.
I like being my plant people, the space cucumbers.
Okay, sliding scale time.
Mm.
So I gave it an innovative 2. I think that it did a lot of things well, but I think that it bogged itself down.
I'm 100% on the same page, actually.
I don't know if we've ever done that before.
Oh, we've definitely done that
On the
before.
sliding scale?
Yeah.
No, this
I
is
don't
the
think
first.
so.
No,
This is the
Fire
first-
Tower, I think.
Oh, Fire
You're
Tower.
right. Yep, Fire Tower
Well, that
is.
was like-
Fire
was-
Tower was the unison episode for everyone but Ian.
The ghost that haunts us.
Yes. Isn't there like a ghost fox in it too? So that
No, there's
Firefox.
fire birds.
oh,
There's fire birds.
Larry, can you kick me
That-
my phone?
Move the fire around.
everything about that game is stupid.
What you can't see, listeners, is Will just threw his phone.
I did unintentionally.
I think it was. I think you were frustrated at the ghosts of our past.
It was the Firebird. The Firebird.
Fire. I'm done. I can't hit. It's too many dumb birds. Bread and fire. I give this a classic 2.
Okay.
Really?
As far as simulator style board games go, this follows a very structured system. I know a lot of the mechanics for that tavern game are similar to this.
Oh, Excel the board game.
Pretty much. I do kind of like that game though. It's just managing your inventory and eventually hiring people. I thought this was kind of on the classic side. But
I don't know. I haven't played many simulator board games. I've mainly played simulator games on either Xbox or PC. So to see that translated so well to a board game, I gave it a 2 on innovative. I could be totally mistaken, and this is just an untapped gold mine for me. But I haven't seen many.
well, I mean, you have to think a lot of the modern simulator games that we play came from like I know Truck Sim, like the early Truck Sims were based off of like a Truck Sim style board game.
Oh my god.
Yeah, then I'm not ready for that level of autism because I don't think I would ever not play any other game again. Like,
All right, Bards, this is the trucking podcast now.
yeah, right. And
Yes,
it's
bitch.
Farming Sim has a tabletop version as well. Like a
Yeah,
lot of
but
these
that,
games
that
are.
felt gimmicky.
No,
I've
that was
seen it.
definitely gimmicky, and that's why that wasn't my first go-to. But like, as far as simulator style games go, this follows the structure very closely.
Okay, I can see where you're coming from for that.
I think that's just an untapped gold mine for me.
What do you think? Classic, innovative?
That was pretty classic. I like it. When I say it's innovative? No. What's new about this?
The simulation aspect, the depth. That's where I'm coming from on there.
Yeah.
It's okay,
I
Chris.
don't think there's anything new that we haven't seen in any other board game.
Fair.
Conceptually.
And then from simple to complex.
Complex 3 for me. I love the depth, and it is
Complex?
very in depth.
Complex 1 for me.
Oh, fair. I give it a
It is
complex 3.
yeah, it's a complex, but not in a way I enjoyed.
Oh, it is a way I very much enjoyed.
I don't know. I think it's kind of simple. Once you actually understand the rules, I think it's kind of simple. Is it a painful first time? Yes. But after that, it gets better.
See, the only reason why I disagree is, once again, how dynamic the game can be. The fact that you can get your entire strategy crushed because some dude started up a fucking radio is...
But that's not complex. That's simply you got screwed over.
Yes, but it is a level of complexity to recover.
Not really. I think Chris played the radio and was the main reason I was able to survive.
Chris playing that radio and having to put 2 things on that completely screwed
No, but
him.
even before that, like I knew Chris was going to make a play at that point somewhere, and by that point in the game, I was selling everything. It's not really a challenge. Once you're, like I said, 7 days in, you have the ability to basically sell everything.
Yeah.
So there's no reason to really, single in on one thing unless like you have the Mormons up in the corner with the
Yes.
lemonade. That was great to just hammer out lemonades, but that dense urban cluster in the center that had basically a demand for everything.
Those dudes really liked pizza, though.
Oh my god. Pizza, beer, pizza, soda.
Yeah.
Soda pizza.
Soda, burger, pizza.
Yeah, burger, pizza, soda.
Burger, pizza, soda. Although a burger and a pizza and a soda do be hitting.
I could do that right now, man.
Oh, I could too.
When you say pizza, I'm talking like a whole pizza.
Oh yeah, like a whole
Yeah.
pie. You just take like 2 or 3 hamburgers, shred them up, throw them on top.
Oh, god damn.
Right?
Do I need to go to Pepe's?
All right, let's cut it here. We're getting pizza.
Yep. Good time, guys.
Yep.
All right, now, closing thoughts, though. Brooke, I'd like to hear yours.
Yuck. But also, it needs to be 20s. We didn't talk about that.
The what?
We need $20 bills.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Huge thing to address. Huge opportunity, guys. I don't know why 20s didn't exist in 1950. I'm pretty sure they did.
I think you need to get rid of the 50s and put in 20s.
The 50s are a cool flex, maybe half the amount of 50s.
But even like at that point, though, like we're starting to get into monopoly scales of money, where it's
Yeah.
like, what do you use the 500s for anything other than to just condense your pile down?
No.
Exactly.
But they're funny.
They are funny, but you can't pay anything, and they especially like what I was dealing with towards the mid game when we were starting to run the bank down is like I'm having to play banker and like go to the box to get more bills out to make change.
Yeah, the 50s are unnecessary. This game could hugely benefit from a 20.
And I'm not trying to beat a dead horse on this one, but I just want to also say, like, the vast majority of this game is going to be spent playing or paying less than $5 per food or drink beverage if you're doing it correctly.
Yes.
Yep.
So there's no point really in having 50s. There's no way you're gonna. I mean, I did a $70 sale one day, and I'm gonna ride that high forever. But that was with a bunch of shit that just fell together, and that's just not normal gameplay. And I like I said, I think the 50s are just too much for normal gameplay.
So cut the 50s in half and add to the 20s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would have been
Okay.
Yeah.
Totals, everybody? I got 22 for mine.
27 for me.
31.
You're like 25.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
That low?
Yeah.
Huh.
4.
Yep.
I mean, I really like the game. I'll play it again. I love it. Honestly. I don't know how much.
Well, that's why I always love doing these, because it really puts shit in perspective.
Let's get the final score in
Final
first.
score, 26.25, rounded up to 26.5 because we've never done a fourth of a point.
Hey.
That's solid. It's not bad. It's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I mean,
It makes sense.
Yeah.
Just let me do my waitress strategy and everything's fine.
Well, you couldn't, and you almost won. You didn't, by $4.
You know, I would have just stopped pricing out and giving out free food, but I guess so.
Any
Well,
other...
We can't let you have a harem.
oh my god.
I'll just have all the waitresses.
Harem
to
of
myself,
waitresses.
please.
I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna go to like the Ever Eddie Diner one day, and we're just gonna find Chris like tipping the waitresses. Be like,
No, the
show me.
waitress pay you in this game. So
That's
he's
true.
going to be trying to get the money.
Yeah.
I am a
Yeah, he's
pimping
going
out
to be
waitresses.
shaking down. Hey, so how many tips did you get tonight?
Look. I'm trying to. I'm in the restaurant business, but I'm pimping out my waitresses. Okay.
I am a legitimate businessman.
I am a businessman. There is
I
nothing
serve
going
food,
on.
too.
I just want to point out to anybody who's still listening that Chris did drop the legitimate part of that last statement.
Huh?
I said I am a legitimate businessman, and then you said I'm a businessman.
Yeah.
This is your sign to go to your favorite diner for the Will, which is apparently a pizza with a crumbled hamburger on top.
You say that like it's like disparaging. This man is a genius.
I am a
That's now the
visionary.
Will. The Will.
This is why you don't have burger, pizza, soda.
Also, what fucking diner serves pizza? I would never trust diner pizza.
I would exclusively touch.
No.
I would expect it to be
No.
Helios, but I would still eat it.
Yeah, right.
I
Like,
could just
I wouldn't
do that.
I wouldn't get like Clams Casino.
Oh, I would.
oh, I would. Okay, no.
Listen,
no,
if I
okay.
saw Clams Casino on a fucking diner menu,
That is 100% something that you just got a chance.
Oh,
Fate
yeah.
will
No.
decide for you tonight.
oh yeah, that was like when Denny's used to sell the what was it, like the T-bone? The T-bone steak?
The T-bone steak was actually pretty edible. I wouldn't say it was good.
I've certainly had better steak.
I've had steak before.
What is wrong with you guys?
What, are you a fan of the T-bone from Denny's?
No. Oh, I thought we were talking favorable things. No.
No.
They're saying not favorable, but you have to
Okay.
do it once.
They was
No, you don't have to
certainly
do it
a
ever.
type of meat. That and their surf and turf, man. I never was brave enough to try their surf and turf. I'm pretty sure they sourced it from the Petco.
I'm gonna be completely real. I just started eating fish again for like after 20 years, and like I don't know if I'm ready to eat like fish that I haven't
Denny's
cooked yet,
fish.
and especially Denny's fish. Like maybe I'll go to a nice seafood restaurant and have a fish, but like I don't know.
Denny's?
No, never Denny's. What about you, viewers?
They're not going to respond, Will. We can't hear
No,
them.
I mean they can
They will respond, but I
they
don't think...
can leave a review and tell us their diners.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually.
Or they also, we are on Spotify. I've never really checked it, but in theory, they can also leave comments under the Spotify.
Yeah, if anything, leave a comment with your favorite diner
Yeah,
menu. Or,
Do it.
maybe we'll do
Or waitress.
Yeah, you can even name your favorite
You
waitress,
just, like,
I guess.
yeah.
yeah,
read 'em all.
driving with the bards, and we'll go to some diners.
How old is your favorite
Oh,
waitress?
I would
Do
love
not
to.
dox your waitresses, though, despite what Chris is asking for.
Don't do that.
Do not dox your
Please
waitress.
leave name, address, and social security number for all known waitresses in the comments section below.
And I guess
And
cup
their
size.
mother's maiden names.
And the mother's maiden name, first pet, and the street they grew up on.
On that note, bye.
Oh yeah.
My vape's quiet.
No vapes. If I'm not allowed to vape, none of you guys are allowed to vape.
Go put him in Party Frog.
I'll be fine.
Put him over in Party Frog.
I'm gonna forget him there.
Zenithan.
Not doing it.
No, I'm better than that.
You're not better than this.
I am better than that.